So, remember this? Elon Musk jumping into Doge like a superhero trying to save American dollars, firing everyday working men and women, and calling it patriotism on a budget? Then came the purge, gutting federal agencies like the FAA and air traffic control. Surprise! Now we've got planes and helicopters falling out of the sky like it's a Michael Bay movie. Oh, and firing the people responsible for monitoring nuclear weapons, only to circle back like, wait, those folks were important? Cue the national game of hide and seek to rehire them. And let's not forget the Ebola fumble.
And I should say, we will make mistakes. We won't be perfect, but when we make a mistake, we'll fix it very quickly. So, for example, with USAID, one of the things we accidentally canceled very briefly was Ebola, Ebola prevention. I think we all want Ebola prevention. So we restored the Ebola prevention immediately, and there was no interruption.
And let's not forget the hand gesture, a reminder of the less flattering side of humanity in the past. What's Elon saying about that these days?
Try to claim that I was a Nazi because of some random hand gesture at a rally where all I said was that my heart goes out to you, and I was talking about space travel. And yet the legacy media promoted that as though that was a deliberate Nazi gesture, when in fact every politician, any public speaker who's spoken for any length of time has made the exact same gesture. And yet there's still people out there, and I've never harmed a single person.
Fast forward, after rallying an entire social media platform to boost Trump, holding legally questionable sweepstakes to register Republican voters.
Let me first hand out 2 $1 million checks in appreciation. So the first check goes to Nicholas Jacobs.
One of the things that we did do to kind of even the odds was we massively improved the Republican ground game, My America PAC. Massively improved the Republican ground game in the swing states. So the Democrats only have the best ground game. Just in terms of knocking on doors, talking to people, sounds simple. Just having a good sort of word of mouth virality campaign, having good messaging that appeals to people.
Creating PACs like their NFTs and funneling millions to MAGA candidates, Musk suddenly has an epiphany, like a kid who touched the stove and now knows it's hot.
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Too late, genius. Well, after all that, after you figuratively lit yourself on fire and your Tesla company, literally, now you are pulling out of political contribution. You had enough? Really? Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, bro. Given how many lives got steamrolled and ruined, I don't think angry Americans are quite done with you yet. Might want to hold off on booking that victory parade. And why back out now? Could it be all those Teslas spontaneously combusting across the globe? I mean, the blaze at one of the Tesla lot was so intense. Even the cops called it a Roman campfire. So yeah, brother, we know exactly why you're done with political donations. That stove burnt back. Hard.
So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country and suspend their right to...
Let me stop you, ma'am.
Oops. And yet we're a DEI hire. Now, talk about sleeping your way to the top, right? Unbelievable, this lot. Kids, that's Kristi Noem, the Secretary of Homeland Security for the United States of Great America. And don't even get me started on the fact that she can't pronounce half of that legal jargon properly. Now for your constitutional lesson. Kids, gather around, listen and learn. School is now in session. Senator Maggie Hassan, please help us out here.
Please stop you, ma'am. Habeas corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning
Please help
people.
us out here. No wonder the Trump administration has been awkwardly at odds with the United States Constitution all this time. It's probably because their understanding of it is about as deep as a puddle in the Sahara. And I mean shallow. In fact, their grasp of the very law that paved their way into political power is practically non-existent.
Not that the tariff is coming, it's on. Have any of you felt any of it? Seriously.
In this next video, Howard Lutnick, Trump's Commerce Secretary, makes another classic boo-boo. And by classic, I mean one that'll have the administration and its right-wing media arm scrambling to polish the turd over the next few days. I can't quite decide if this moment was out of touch, just plain evil, or a special kind of billionaire stupid. Lutnick, you go to the store now. Are you feeling the pain of tariffs? Do any of you feel anything seriously? Audience, yes.
Everything in the world's got 10%. You go to the store now, are you feeling the pain? No. Why not? Because there is no pain. Because what happens is the sellers, the producers, the sellers, and the currencies change, and the price effectively mostly goes away. I'm not, what's the inflation rate in America? 2-odd%? Okay, 2-odd%. But seriously, for the month of May, every product in the world's got 10% on it right now, with no exceptions, no exclusions. We have 25% on cars and that are coming in from out. Do any of you feel anything? Because I want you to understand, in the month of May, the United States of America is going to take in $35 billion towards our deficit of tariff revenue in the month of May.
And consumers will feel that.
Well, I said it's already on. This is on since April. So when it's not that the tariff is coming, it's on. Have any of you felt any of it? Seriously.
The level of disconnect and heartlessness from this administration, you couldn't script this in a Hollywood satire without getting rejected for being too unrealistic. Now, remember, just a few weeks ago, while leading the charge at Dodge and firing anyone with a pulse and a badge, they were trying to cancel Social Security checks. And what did Lutnick say? That his mother-in-law wouldn't cry over a missed Social Security payment.
Let's say Social Security didn't send out their checks this month. My mother-in-law, who's 94, she wouldn't call and complain. She just wouldn't. She'd think something got messed up, and she'll get it next month.
Yeah.
A fraudster always makes the loudest noise, screaming, yelling, and complaining.
What a load of BS. Just imagine the irony. This coming from a billionaire whose mother-in-law probably uses solid gold floss and shouldn't even qualify for Social Security in the first place. But if you complain about missing your check, in his words, you're a fraudster. Yep, he basically called you a thief for expecting the money you literally paid into. Let's be real. Social Security isn't a handout. It's not a government goodie bag. It's your money, invested, saved, and supposed to be returned. But billionaires like him, they won't pay their fair share, and now they're trying to yank away what little we've saved. And after all that, they have the audacity to ask, do you feel the pain? While grocery prices have doubled faster than a Netflix subscription fee. Thankfully, at least this audience still had their senses intact, unlike the other group out there, following blindly like, well, let's just say zombies might be too generous. If this government's benchmark for success is based on whether or not you can physically feel the pain of their policies, then buckle up. We're in for 4 more years of gaslighting. That is, if they even hand over power peacefully. And if not, let's just say the 6th of January might end up looking like a rehearsal dinner. On CNN, RFK Jr. sat down for an interview, and wow, what a mess. A full-blown, unfiltered grade A disaster. In this video, CNN, you told Congress, we have a team on the ground in Milwaukee. The city responded with a collective, no you don't. RFK Jr. The CDC is giving them assistance. CNN. They just confirmed there's 1 technician on the ground. RFK Jr. I can't tell you how many are on the ground. Well, please, just watch it.
Ask you about something you said when you were on Capitol Hill this week. You were asked about the lead crisis in Milwaukee schools. You told Congress, quote, "We have a team on the ground in Milwaukee." The city said that's not true and that they are still not getting the help that they want from the CDC. Do you know who is on the ground? Who were you under the impression?
The CDC is giving them assistance with their labs, their analytics, and advice.
They just said one technician was on the ground.
I can't tell you how many are on the ground in the city of Milwaukee, but I can tell you we are there.
But you don't know how many?
I can't tell you how many right now.
So, I mean, this is from the Milwaukee Health Commissioner and Senator Tammy Baldwin. Yeah.
You could read my other exchanges with Tammy Baldwin, and anyway, I'm not necessarily believing what Senator Baldwin.
So you're
is.
disputing and saying that there are more than one CDC employees.
Like I said, we have 62,000 employees. I'm not sure how many we have deployed to Milwaukee. I'm happy to check and give you that information.
And are you committed to helping with the schools there? Because obviously they're having a real issue with this and say it's really affecting the students.
Of course, I've been working on lead in the schools including in Milwaukee, for 40 years. It is a crisis in our country. 44% of black youth in our municipalities have dangerous levels of lead in their blood. And that is crippling them for a lifetime, potentially. So it's an issue that is foremost on my mind. It's a high priority, and it's something we'll continue to be involved with.
Okay.
America, is it a sin to want a functioning government? Why must you accept an administration that stumbles from crisis to crisis like a drunk giraffe on roller skates? Let's just take a look. Signalgate. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth casually dropping classified info in a group chat like it's fantasy football picks. Check this out. Education Secretary Linda McMahon actually said this while talking about AI technology.
Letter or report that I heard this morning, I wish I could remember the source, but that there is a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching, every year.
It's called AI. AI, you blockhead. I mean, really? How is she the education secretary in an administration that supposedly hires based on merit? And recently, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, who, like many right-wingers, treats due process more like a parade float than a principal couldn't even define habeas corpus during a hearing. Natural disasters ripping through the country without proper warnings, leaving people unprotected. FEMA, apparently ghosting us like a bad Tinder date, is nowhere to be found, unlike every bipartisan administration before that actually showed up. Air traffic control in total chaos. Planes falling from the sky like it's a game of whack-a-mole. At this point, if you're not afraid to board a flight, I want to borrow your nerves of steel. And let's not forget, a global tariff war launched on a whim, only to be quietly walked back weeks later with nothing but losses and awkward silence. And then there's this guy, RFK Jr. My goodness, America, what have you done? If you've been with OGM News for a while, you know we've consistently warned our biggest fear about a Trump administration wasn't Project 2025 or whatever next-level dystopian policy was trending that week. No, our concern has always been the raw, unfiltered incompetence of the Trump campaign, something we feared would be packed and shipped directly into the White House.
It's on my mind, it's a high priority, and it's something we'll continue to be involved with.
Okay.
Hold on, let me get him on the phone.
Josh?
Tell him I loved his op-ed. And Greg mentioned a staggering level of corruption. And I just got a note that the staggering level of corruption from last night's meme coin dinner.
That's what you're focusing on, the
40%, no, 40% of Donald Trump's wealth has been accumulated since he became president because of 2 crypto coins. The New York Times did interviews with foreign buyers of this cryptocurrency who came over here to have dinner with him. A guy from South Korea.
This is not even part of the segment.
So what?
You're talking about a meme coin.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about who's corrupt and who is profiting off the American American office.
Did he try to cover that up? I don't think so.
Yeah, Caroline Levitt said
You're defending an administration that covered up a dying leader, and you're sitting here going, but meme coin, meme coin.
I'm saying billions.
All right, let's give Paul a chance to clean it up real quick. Paul, final thoughts.
Clean on my side of the street.
All right, all I can say is that
Jessica Tarlov, kudos, no lie detected whatsoever. Unfortunately, her colleagues seem determined to live in their own delusion, convinced they're exposing Biden's corruption because, wait for it, he allegedly didn't report, while at the White House, that he was dying, even though he was just diagnosed a few days ago. Okay, unfunny comedian of the year. That's not uncovering corruption. That's just being villainous enough to kick a man while he's battling a cancer diagnosis. At least we've got Jessica shining a light on some real corruption. She nailed it by pointing out that 40% of Donald Trump's wealth was magically acquired while he was president. Just last night, he hosted a meme coin party with international guests literally paying for access.
Tonight, Donald Trump will have a secret dinner and meeting with the 200 individuals who have spent the most money buying up his meme coin. Donald Trump's meme coin has no value in and of itself. Its only value is based upon how much demand exists for the meme coin. He creates demand by essentially opening a channel for bribery. If you buy his coin, the price goes up and he makes more money. If you buy his coin, you get secret access to the president to be able to plead your case, to be able to ask for preferential treatment. And the extra benefit is no one will ever know that you bought the coin or that you got the private access. And so it provides cover for the most corrupt, for the most compromised, for the worst of the worst to channel money to Donald Trump in order to get their private audience with him, in order to plead their case for favorable treatment from the federal government or for investment from the U.S. taxpayer.
It's like a crypto timeshare, but tackier. When asked the White House press sec, here is her excuse.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Caroline. The president posted another ad this week for his Trump meme coin. The group that's running that coin is encouraging people to buy in order to win a dinner this month with the president. Why is the president planning to attend a dinner for the top investors in his coin?
Look, the president is abiding by all conflict of interest laws. The president has been incredibly transparent with his own personal financial obligation throughout the years. The president is a successful businessman, and I think, frankly, it's one of the many reasons that people reelected him back to this office.
There are at least some people who are buying this coin who seem to view it as an opportunity to influence the president's views. There was a logistics company this week that said they would buy $20 million in the coin in order to advocate for free trade between the U.S. and Mexico. If buyers are buying for that reason, are they wasting their money?
Look, I can assure you the president acts with only the interests of the American public in mind, putting our country first and doing what's best for our country.
No, he's not. The last thing he'll ever do is follow any rule unless the one he made up. Fox News, if you really want to talk about corruption, by all means, let's do that because it's right there in flashing neon. While many at Fox News defend this president's shameful actions, claiming he wasn't at the meme coin party in any official capacity, well, would you look at that? That's the presidential seal standing right there in the middle of the obscene meme coin dinner, where Trump spoke to people who invested the most in the token, which financially benefits him and his family. So yeah, corruption of the highest order, using the highest office in the land to facilitate it. So, Fox News, instead of being laser-focused on sick old Joe Biden like he's the final boss in a nursing home brawl, go ahead, you political street fighters. But the real corruption, that's foreign bribes from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE. That's selling presidential pardons to the highest bidder. That's a president hawking meme coins to his most gullible fans, or, as Nigerians might call them, MAGAs or Muguns. And if all that isn't corruption, then I wonder what is. And before you dash off, go ahead and smash that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us everywhere: Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Heck, if you're feeling retro, send us a carrier pigeon or a smoke signal. Stay awesome, stay witty, and we'll see you next time.